Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Dark Side of the Word. I am Kate, and I'm here with my co-host CJ.
Hey, everybody.
And it is the first Thursday of the month, which means that we are going to catch you all up on everything that we did in the last 30-ish days, whatever they are, between now and the last catch-up episodes. We're going to talk our writing life. We're going to talk about the query trenches. Honestly... I actually am like dreading recording this episode, because I feel that my life hit the shitstorm the last month, and I've been scrambling to figure out things to even say that I did.
That's okay. That's okay. This episode of The Writing Life is not going to be my finest hour or half hour either, so yeah, let her rip. And that's how life is, though, sometimes. Sometimes it's quiet, other times it's not. So again, keeping it real.
I feel that writing is it mimics that as well, because you're going to have moments when things are happening so quickly and you're having to do this and that, and you're querying, or you're doing this competition, or you're doing that competition. And then there's going to be these moments where it's just, you have to put your head and your thoughts in the grinder, and you just got to just plow forward, put your head down, get the words on the page. And sometimes it's not very exciting to say on here.
Yeah. I actually thought I was going to have more to say this week, but then I got bronchitis and I wasn't able to do anything. So yeah, that got derailed, and that's just life sometimes.
Dude, that's news to me. I knew you were sick, but you didn't tell me what.
Oh, I didn't tell you I have bronchitis? Yeah, I have bronchitis. So I apologize, listeners, if I sound a little nasally, but that is why I'm recovering from bronchitis.
We all get the headlines here today.
Yay!
Well, most of the time, just plan your coughing when I'm talking, and I can cut it all out.
That's what I'm going to try and do. I'll try and hold it in, contain the beast.
That is also one of my issues as well, is I caught COVID for the first time. And that took me down for a while. And then, as we all know from my last massive shouting excitement, I'm moving.
Yeah. So
that has consumed my life, and buying boxes and planning the road trip, because we have to road trip home because of our dogs, and doing this and that, and the last of everything. Like, one of the updates I can give now, everyone, is I went to my last In Real Life book club. Oh, it was so hard. Everyone was amazing. I got a card. Someone made me cake. And
ooh, what kind of cake?
It was this really fun, like, spiced apple cake. And she said she put double the apples in because she had a lot. And we all just kind of looked at her and like, you put less in here? Like, no, this is required now.
The only way it should be served.
I had like a streusel topping. It was and it was gluten-free too. So we're talking like, it was phenomenal. And then
I love a streusel topping.
I know, right? Like, Dutch apple pie is my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you do apple pie, people.
I mean, I like 2 layers of pie crust, but on cakes, I love a streusel topping.
I might need to put that. Yeah, I need to work that in my cakes more. But I also went through all my books, every single book I own, to call and clear out, to try to, like, which that was hard. It felt like I was getting rid of my babies. And I ended up taking like 2 massive bags to book club and had everyone like take out what they want. And then I took the rest and sold them at half price, which I got a nice, like, I'm shook with how many books I turned. And I want to say I put in like 12 books.
Okay.
I got a whopping like 15 books.
Oh, that's nice.
And, you know, what does one do when they go to half price and get money? I mean, did they just buy more books?
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes. It's the circle of life, of book
It's not
life.
like I'm moving and I probably shouldn't have added, like, 3 more books when
I cannot judge you, because when we moved, I had 8 boxes of books, like big boxes of books.
Okay, you're making me feel better.
Actually, no, it might have been more. Why do I want to say 20? I don't know. I had a lot of books, and now I have like 1 small bookshelf.
I know. I'm shook at you. I don't know who you are. Yeah, we went to Home Depot and I got the medium extra heavy duty. So like the double layered corrugated ones. And I got 10 boxes. Mm-hmm. Because I have 5 bookcases. Oh. So I was like 2 boxes per book. I think I'm going to regret this. I think it's more. But I ended up buying, since we read Hyde, I ended up buying The Eye Darkened by Kirsten. There we go. Kirsten. We gotta do it once per podcast. Kirsten White. I bought
Staying
The Eye
on
Darkened.
brand.
Then I went into this whole like rant with my partner about Diane Wayne Jones, because I think that you'll also fit into the CJ. It was like growing up as kids, we either fell in love with reading like Tamara Pierce Or Dan Wayne Jones? Yes?
I have no idea who those people are.
Who are you? Wait.
I was
what?
Babysitter's Club and Sweet Valley Twins and Fear Street.
Damn,
and R.L. and Goosebumps by R.L. Stein.
Dude, we are... there's a generation difference here.
There is. I am 8 years older than you.
Sometimes I forget. Okay, so that was like, that's my sister's generation, so that was you. But like the one after you, the readers after you were either Tamara Pierce or Diane Wayne Jones. Like literally split straight down the middle.
Okay.
Do you watch any Hayao Miyazaki movies?
Do I watch what?
Hayao Miyazaki movies, like Spirited Away, any of those?
No. Okay.
Well, they did one movie after one of her books. Anyway. I'll continue this rant for those of you in my generation. Which, that would be a great poll. I'm sorry, CJ, you're gonna be left out of this, but I want to know who of our listeners are Tamara Pierce or Diane Wayne Jones listeners, like readers, because you're one or the other.
I think there should be a third option for the old timers and be like, I have never heard of these people.
Okay.
Thank you.
Diane Wayne Jones is amazing though. Like, even though they're like younger readers, I'm gonna like give you a title you have to read. Like, they're so anyway. So I got into a rant with my husband going through the bookshelf about it, and I realized I don't own a lot of Jones's books because I got most of them in a library as a kid, and I'm thinking about like if we have a kid in the future and all this stuff. So when I went to Half Price, now I've been like scouring to find her books, and I found for $6 a hard copy, complete bound of all 4 volumes of one of her like, what do you call a 4-book
series?
Quartet? Yeah. Like when it has 4 books.
A quattro?
Oh.
Like the shit quattro. I don't know.
So I'm stoked. So I grabbed that. And then I got the Kirsten White book. And then I got some witchy books, because I'm getting a house. I need to, make this house like feng shui and energy right. So yeah, that's my big update. I got rid of books and I bought more.
And that is okay.
How is the writing front for you?
The writing front is the actual writing, like writing a story writing.
Yes, because you had a moment there.
I did. I had a moment. So a couple weeks ago, listeners, I told Kate that I was going to start working on my manuscript again, which means revising my manuscript.
Which Kate just screamed around and ran around the house going, finally.
And I started working on it. I read the whole thing through once to just refresh myself with the story. And I loved it. I fell back in love with it. I couldn't wait to work on it. And then I started working on the first 2 chapters, and it just completely... And I have not looked at it again. But in my defense, I also was getting bronchitis that week. So I feel like that may have hindered my creative process.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I am not sure if I'm going to go back to it right away.
Nah, you are such a tease. Can I be mad at you right now?
I'm a chapter tease.
Because she promised to send me the first 2 chapters just to like bolster her mood, and I never got them.
And I tried working on them. I did. So when I was reading the story just through, I had so many ideas. My brain was firing on all cylinders, and I was super excited to get working. And whenever I reread something after I've been away for a while, I force myself not to change anything or make any notes because I'll probably contradict myself down the line. So I did not do any of that, and I am kicking myself now because when I went back again to start revising the first 2 chapters, every great idea I had just flew out of my mind, and I just went kablooey, and I could not find the rhythm, and I did not really do anything. So I am still on a writing hiatus for right now.
Well, I am going to keep bugging you until I at least get 2 chapters to look over it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just, you can't tease me.
But I like to tease.
Well, I'm going to keep poking you until you finally start. My writing front, I just realized I looked at my Scrivener while you were talking real quick because I hadn't been keeping track of my word count. But ladies and gentlemen, I have crossed over the 30K threshold and I didn't even realize it.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's at roughly 32. And I do find that a lot of times the 30 to 40K is the hardest part of the book to get through when you hit that mark. So it's your beginning's always really strong, your heave-ho, then you hit the 30 to 40K, and if you can make it through past that, you're going to finish your book. But, so I got really sad, because I know I'm on chapter 11 now, but I didn't realize that, that meant 30-something thousand words.
That's a lot. That's a lot of words for only 11 chapters, I feel.
I know. So I feel really good about that. It's going really, really well. Haven't been as prolific as being sick, like as you said with yours as well. So I haven't sent CJ any chapters because we also thought I'm going to do like a bigger chunk since I was going a little bit slower. However, on another side note of my writing journey, I had been working on another book after Précis, which is the one I'm querying right now. And I had sent CJ some chapters. That was interesting.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yes. CJ was a little harsh, but it's okay. We dealt with it.
The book that almost dissolved our partnership before it even began.
Never. We can survive anything.
We can.
But it's interesting. So I have a very strong story. However, I went a couple weeks ago. My friends from Idaho came over for like last hoorah before I moved. And we went to a concert in downtown Seattle. And so we rode the public transportation, the light rail, which is essentially kind of like a subway, but not. But it's underground in certain areas. And we were underground. And it's electric. And it's weird. It's not a subway. Okay. It's not. But it just goes underground. It's more like an electric train thingy.
Okay. How fancy.
And it's not normally underground. It's just in like the downtown directly. There's like 4 stops underground.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, it's not really a subway. They call it the light rail. I don't know.
It's okay. Because it's light on the subwayness.
Yes. Anyway, so we were downtown where it was underground. And I was just like, it's creepy as fuck down there. Like I haven't been to on the light rail because I'm bougie now and just drive everywhere downtown when I want to go.
Yeah.
And it was dark, like creepy as fuck. I haven't been down there in say 4 years. And I don't know, I just had this like moment happen in my head and this like idea. I took a picture and everything. Oh. And even though that book, we'll call it Uni. We'll call it Code Word Uni.
Okay, Code Word Uni.
And I was like, oh, okay, what if I added this to it? Like it's starting to get those layers. Nice. So with the book I'm working on right now, which is called Saving Goodbye, it was really good when I first wrote it. And I think that it has like everything it needs to be a story. But now as I'm rewriting it for the last time and polishing it and making the plot changes I need to like kind of elevate it and make it more adult than YA that I had originally written. Because Kate over here wanted to be a YA author. Fuck no anymore.
You and everybody else out there.
But to like turn it into, and I've told CJ the changes. I'm not going to like say them on here, but I've like told her some where it's come from and what it is now. But like now that I'm adding in the layers to the new draft of it, it's just becoming this creature of its own and this magical, like wonderful story. And I'm starting to like, without having written a whole book for uni, I'm starting to get these like layers coming into my head with it and these different things. And I'm kind of stoked and excited because I'm seeing the stuff come up and I'm like, yeah, that's going to be the next book, man. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. For another book then.
No, uni.
Oh,
like,
for uni. Okay.
It's layering into uni, like these different layers that I'm starting to like imagine popping into my head and like, oh, I could add this to it and then that would make
I love when that happens. That's the best feeling, when everything just starts to come together like that.
I mean, in a way, I feel like you like totally tearing it apart, except for that one thing. Mm-hmm. But totally tearing it apart actually made me stop writing on it, and I'm kind of glad I did because one, I'm rewriting Saving Goodbye, which is turning into solid gold.
Yes.
Two,
absolutely.
Honestly, I don't think it was ready yet for these other things that are popping in my head, and I'm kind of glad I didn't work on it.
I saved you a lot of trouble. You're welcome.
Exactly.
You're welcome. Anytime.
So that's my writing front. It's just, you know, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, it's just putting my head to the ground and just plugging through these words and trying to hit the count. I have scheduled in a day of just pure writing where I'm not going to do anything else. And I think I'm going to like start sprinkling them in like once a month, twice a month. Yeah. And try to get a little bit more work done. But yeah.
Okay. That's good. What about querying? Any updates there?
Dude. So I slightly lied when we did the...
What? You've lied to us? You bitch!
The query letter rejection code thing.
Okay.
So I keep track of everything in an Excel file. So the amount of agents I research and look through is well over... I think it's almost 80 now.
It's a lot.
So I didn't really count the ones that I had actually sent queries to because some of them are like, I'm talking about like I list all the ones that I want that are closed or whatever, just to like keep track, because then I can like go back to them later and see if they're open, stuff like that. So it was well over 80 agents. So I just assumed without counting that I had like 50 agents I had queried, over 50.
Yeah.
It's actually 43.
Okay.
So
That's a
sorry
good
I
number,
lied to
though.
everyone about that number. Because I was starting in my head thinking it was over 50, and I was starting to get to the point of like, what's my number I'm going to hit or when I just give up?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, do I want to give up at 50 or do I want to give up at 100? I'm like, well, I'm already over 50 and I'm hitting this wall. And then I went and counted. I'm like, I'm not even at 50, bitch. You got to keep going. But I acquired an agent that somehow had slipped through all of my kind of like catches, and I got super excited, and my book is everything that she said she wanted.
Okay.
And I got super excited, and I manifested, and I did all of my intentions for it, and I sat and meditated on it forever, and I did all the stuff I was supposed to do, and she rejected me.
Best
That was
laid
really
plans,
hard.
oh mice and men.
And even after all of our career rejection podcast information and rewriting my query letter, I'm still getting the same stuff. Still form rejections, nothing there, nothing
It
changing.
happens. It
I
happens.
don't know what else to do at this point. Like, I really am at the point where I'm just like, I don't know what to do to gain people's attention.
I feel like you should just keep going because you just discovered this one new agent, so there's probably more out there. I just added like 20 new agents to my query list that I want to go to. I'm up to 150 agents right now overall to my list. Some I've queried already, but I have 150 people that I want to do. So I'm going to keep going, and I think you should keep going as long as you have a list to exhaust. This way you have literally tried everything you can think of. And if you do put it aside without getting an agent, you can say, I did everything I could to make this happen. And it's not me.
Well, maybe by the time I'm done, Saving Goodbye will be ready, and then it's just like, go back in.
Yeah.
Never leave this hamster wheel. But I'm guessing because you've added more agents, you have not heard back from any of your full requests yet.
I have heard back from one. So last time we checked in, there were 6 literary agents actively considering Hoogly Ever After. Now we are down to 5. One agent declined to offer representation, which was obviously very depressing, but also really interesting because she actually gave me really specific feedback about why she declined.
Oh, that wasn't the typical, like, I can't find a market or I don't want...
No, not at all. And I feel like we were just talking about this in
Yeah.
our publishing trend about the decoding, it was query letter rejections, but in this case, this is a subjection. Wow, I just completely combined everything. Submission rejection. I feel like I've been handed like the silver unicorn of the query submission process. Super specific feedback about what exactly in the novel didn't work for this agent. And when she sent me her reply, she used my characters' names and their situations in her reply, showing me that she actually read the book.
Okay, you need to put a gold star by her because if
Right?
you have to query a new book, like, you want to, like, query her.
Yes, absolutely. So she flagged 2 things in my manuscript that didn't work for her and then provided an example of when those things appeared in the manuscript and a suggestion on how I might, quote, fix these things that she flagged.
Why isn't she, like, saying fix them and resend? Because, like, what?
I don't know. That's a really interesting question because I feel like these things are rather... we all hear agents say everything is subjective, and I truly feel these are very subjective things. While I can see why she flagged them, I feel that her reservations are mostly for her. I don't think many other agents will feel this way.
So this is equivalent to, like, there was a cat in the store and I don't like cats.
A little bit, okay. Yeah. Like,
we're gonna side topic this because I want to hear what these are. So sorry guys, we're gonna talk about that offline, but I'm gonna want to hear what these are.
Yeah. So, and then none of the other agents who have passed on the submission have given me this same feedback. So I feel like it is particular to her. And also these things in the grand scheme of things are very minor. One of the things I do completely own up to, it's something that could easily be fixed during the copy editing process. And the other thing I feel is a very personal opinion of the agent that I don't happen to agree with. But neither issue is structural in terms of world building or maintaining a plot or making a well-developed story. So, these things were off-putting to this agent, but would they be off-putting to every agent enough to not want to represent me? I don't think so. So
I hope you don't mind me saying this because I think this is something you're cool with. But I know when you took, like, your group class thing,
yes,
one of the things that you had come to me about, and that she had also stressed your instructor in it, was that your book didn't have to be the perfect polished thing that you wanted it to be, and then it could go out as in the version that you sent me. And so I feel like that when you were saying it's something that could be fixed in copy edits, that would be like a great example for the level of where you were submitting it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, anything you submit is never going to be taken and published as you submit it. There's always going to be edits, always going to be more revisions to do. So I'm not expecting anything to just be absolutely perfect for any agent. But I do think that people should give people more of a chance. I read all these acknowledgments at the back of books, and the author's always saying, and thanks to blah, blah, blah agent who saw the potential in my manuscript and took me on and guided me and all this stuff. Like, that's what I want. That is the relationship I want. I want somebody to see the potential, take the chance, even if a few things need to be worked out that are not huge, and just go with it. So that's what I'm waiting for. And obviously for this woman, it wasn't what she wanted. It wasn't the work she was willing to put in, which I completely respect. She has her own stuff to do. She got to make money. Totally cool.
But I wish that we were still in that age of working and seeing the potential of stories, because you hear that all the time. I mean, I believe that Stephen King mentioned it with Carrie. I know that a lot of that has been talked about with J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, how it was not that good and they worked with it.
Yeah.
But I've also heard that we're just not in that age anymore because of how many writers are submitting works and just what's out there, and the way that the publishing industry works as well, with just that quick, like, we gotta hurry up and grab you and sell the books. So I hate that. I honestly hate that we're writers right now, to be honest.
It was hard before
it was the
COVID.
90s.
It was hard before COVID, but I feel like since COVID, it has just erupted with people like, I'm going to write a book. And then they do. And then they get picked up. For whatever reason, they get picked up when they've been writing for all of 2 seconds. While you and I have been slaving away on this for years and years. And we need somebody who's going to help us make a career. I don't want to just publish a book. I want to make a career. 100%. Make a career with me.
100%. And I feel bad if this, like, offends any of our listeners, so I'm sorry, I don't mean that offensive, but my number one hate in this world is when I tell people I'm a writer and they're like, oh, I write books too, oh, I wrote a book, oh, I did this, and it's like, it feels very demoralizing because you feel like you're losing the art, because like you said, we have worked so hard into crafting our art, and I'm not saying that not everyone can write, I'm just saying that we've worked so hard in crafting our art, and sometimes it feels that people think it's just this easy thing that they can slap words on paper, and it's not. It takes style and
dedication,
reading thousands of books and dedication and all this stuff. So I think you and I have definitely entered the art realm.
Yeah, and I don't want to just be a published author. I want to be a really good published author. Mm-hmm. Anybody, it seems like these days when you read certain books, anybody can get a book published. I mean, I can, but other people can. And I'm not quite sure how that happened. But would I say they're good writers? No, I really wouldn't. I want to be a really good published writer. That's my goal.
I want to be V.E. Schwab.
There you go. I don't know who I want. I want to be myself. I want to be myself.
But just like her career. Like if you want to mimic the career style and how they're seen in the world.
Curtis
versus
Sittenfeld.
Like, who?
Curtis Sittenfeld. That would be who I would love.
I don't think I've read that one.
I love her. She just did Romantic Comedy came out. That's her most recent one. And it's getting a lot of buzz because it's much more commercial, I guess.
Okay. That's the other thing, commercial writing, like, I know that people get so much flack in it. Like, you hear about V. Schwab, I know, I'm sorry, just using her again, but as she was viewed as a commercial writer, especially a female writer in the sci-fi genre, she was just destroyed and made fun of and completely put down by her male counterparts and being like, why are you on this panel? You're a girl, like, blah, blah, which is so stupid. Rough. But it's just like, I know that they look down on commercial writers, and I don't want to be a person who also looks down on commercial writing, because I am a commercial writer, but I'm also like, we're losing the art of writing in commercial writing. Like, still need art.
I mean, you can write really good commercial writing. It's just that you don't want to lose the art of writing in that. There's a fine line. And for Curtis Sittenfeld, I have read every single one of her books. I love most of her books. Romantic Comedy, for me, wasn't as good as the others. It did feel like she toned it down a little bit for me. And you know what? She wants to do that. Go ahead. You do that. You've written a lot of books. But you don't know who she is. Yes. A lot of people don't know who she is. And she wanted to try and get to be known. I can respect that after being in this so long.
Yeah. I get it. It's just like, wow, this is definitely delving into the topic that I think we need to have at the end of the month about art versus technique
and
the industry. I'll just make one final comment before we give all of our great tidbits away and all this.
Yes.
But V. Schwab wrote her commercial book, which I know you've heard of it, Addie LaRue.
Oh, yeah.
Life. Okay, so that would be considered
that was commercial. That was long as fuck.
I know, but that would be technically considered her commercial style of grabbing the audience in her commercial realm because that was the one that took off. So that's the one. But hold on, my point is she didn't sacrifice and change her writing to become the commercialized version that everyone gobbled up. So I'm trying to say, which is why you're like, oh, how's that commercial?
Yeah.
Well, it became commercial because it's what everyone read and became obsessed with, and it lived on New York Times bestsellers for like 15 weeks. Don't quote me. It was intense.
A long time.
What I'm saying is that became her like widespread thing, but she didn't give up who she was to do it.
Yeah.
It just happened to take off. But I think that as we talked about querying and our agents and doing all this stuff, I think this is a great time to segue into the cool thing that you're dragging me into this month.
Yes, I am so excited. So, Darksiders, Kate and I are going to be participating in #MoodPitch, which is, no, it's really good. It is a virtual pitch event using social media and mood boards to pitch your work in progress to literary agents and acquiring editors at publishing houses. So it originally originated as a Twitter pitch event, but this year it's been expanded to include Twitter, or X if you're that one person who calls it that, and Threads and Blue Sky. Threads is like Instagram, and I have no idea what Blue Sky is, but I plan to use Twitter.
So Blue Sky is the new Twitterverse style thing, but it's being created by the guy who originally made Twitter.
Oh,
so this is like him making a new version of another program, but it's his. A lot of people are really interested in it because the guy who made Twitter did a great job. So
yeah. Okay, cool. And if you're wondering what a mood board is, because you might be, it is a collection of images you put onto this virtual board to evoke a certain mood or vibe about your story. Kind of like a Pinterest board for your story, but much more targeted. I think maybe like 9 to 12 images. Kate, you have much more experience with mood boards than I do.
Yes, because so I'm the person that always makes the song list and the mood board for every book I read.
And I never do.
I always do. Okay, well, I'm going to go side tangent. I struggle with mood boards a little bit because technically you're just ripping off from other artists. So that's why I've never really posted my mood board. So I'm struggling with this a little bit because I know like a lot of people are going to rip off from Pinterest and Google Images and not give credit to them.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I did it too. I mean, I'm not.
How can you not?
It's sitting on my wall. It's a printed. I also print mine. I actually print mine in picture form and hang on the wall when I'm working on the book because it's just like this visual thing I can look at. So, surprisingly, I did not make one for Saving Goodbye. I need to do that. So yeah, I've actually had a mood board for mine for Praces for a really long time. So to me, okay, so if people are wondering what a mood board is, I stick to the 3x3, so 9 images. And what it is you want to excite emotion and a slight plot to your book. You want to put together something that's going to make people be like, how the fuck do all these pictures go together and what kind of story does this tell? So I know a lot right now, especially on Instagram, people are doing reels like, do you want to read a book with like this? And they'll like show these pictures with this music attached to it, and it gives you an idea of like atmosphere and all this stuff. And even how you like kind of lay out the pictures makes a big point too, because you want your center picture to be like the most emotional impacting, and then all around them to be kind of like the explaining of it all, which is why there's a teddy bear in the middle of mine.
Okay, got it.
Teddy bear is very important in Praces.
It is indeed. Oh, that teddy bear. That teddy bear. Okay, well, thank you for that mood board explanation. So this year's Mood Pitch event takes place on November 9th between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there is a lead up the days prior with sessions that will help you prep for the big event if you have not done it before. So this is a little overview about how Mood Pitch works. So you pitch your work in progress following the event guidelines on Twitter, Threads, or Blue Sky. You can do all 3. You could do only 1. You could do 2, whatever you want, giving a very brief summary of your story and posting the mood board that you created for your story. Literary agents and acquiring editors are going to be browsing the pitch event all day using the recommended list of mood pitch hashtags. And if they like your pitch, like they hit the little like icon, then that's the green light to get in touch with them. They want to see your query at the very least, and maybe even your manuscript, depending on who it is. So obviously, if you want the full details for this event, which you should, visit their website, which is moodpitch.org, MoodPitch.
Also link it here.
.org, and also Kate will link. And that has the guidelines of the event, tips on creating a mood board in alt text, what hashtags you should be using, and the list of agents and editors who will be participating. And also, just to add in one more thing, I don't use Twitter much. I have a Twitter account for Well Read Tart, but I never go on it. but you can still use it for this event. I actually asked the MoodPitch people specifically about this. As long as you use the hashtags, your posts will get seen by those participating in the event.
So I was going to ask you what the big question is. Where are you posting your mood board? So I'm assuming Twitter.
Twitter, yeah. I'm going to be on Twitter. I don't have a Threads or a Blue Sky account, and I don't feel like making one and drumming up a whole following because I can barely keep up with Instagram and Facebook as it is.
So Threads, you connect it to Instagram, and it pretty much just grabs all your followers and your Instagram handle, and you're pretty much just on Instagram.
Oh.
So you're not really having to do anything.
Oh, well, that is good to know. Maybe I will reconsider that.
So I believe you just start out with the same followers that you've always had.
Okay. That's good to know.
It's just literally like just a copy and paste. I do think I might have a Twitter.
Somewhere buried in the annals of the internet.
Never to have been used, but to have because I have, if agents are like, well, follow to see if I'm open on Twitter. Like, that's literally all I have it for. I don't even, use it or go on it at all. So I have no idea. I think Twitter or maybe I'll do Threads for mine.
Yeah, because they say that the agents and editors can look at any of these social media to follow the event. They can look at all three. They can look at one. So I guess if you expand your social media access, then you'll have more access to different people.
Well, they better not just look at Blue Sky because there's a wait list. You can't just get on Blue Sky.
Oh, okay.
It's not accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Well, CJ's going to be the bestest friend in the whole wide world because Kait is in the hecticness of moving. So in all the lead up things, she's just going to feed Kait information because I cannot do this. I'm just literally going to post day of and ignore it because so it's the 9th, right? I literally get in my car and drive away from the state of Washington on the 11th.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's okay. This is right before. You just have to make 3 pitches. You're only allowed to do 3 per social media platform.
Max.
Okay.
I don't have Blue Sky.
as long as you get on there. I think it's just really important to do this event. And the main reason is because you're going to be able to pitch to acquiring editors at publishing houses. We all know that literary agents are the gatekeepers to the editors in the traditional publishing world. You can't get to an editor without getting to an agent first. And this event lets you bypass the gatekeepers and get a chance to send a query directly to an editor if they like your pitch. I feel like this is potential gold.
Yeah, because then you can literally go to your agents of your dreams and be like, honey, I got an editor already. You want to represent me? It's gold in your pocket already. Yeah, because essentially you've passed not only querying an agent, you've also passed trying to sell your book. Yeah. But the thing no one talks about, that horrible stage where you have an agent but you can't fucking sell your book to a publishing house. Yeah. Yeah, so you have to go pass both of those, and then you can just literally ring up whatever fucking agent you want and be like, you want to represent me? I already got it all. I just need you as my lawyer at this point.
Assuming that the editor asks for your manuscript and likes it. For the event, they're only liking it and probably just asking for a query. So they have to like your query, then ask for your manuscript, the whole process. But you don't have to go through an agent, so that's one less step. You probably do eventually want to get an agent, but they'll probably be able to hook you up with one.
You want to get an agent as soon as you can because, like I said, they act as a lawyer because they're the ones that know how to read all the contract stuff. But like I said, you can pretty much call up whatever one you want and see if they'll represent you. Like you're not because you've already been proven.
It's a whole different ballgame. Totally. I know. One that
you're
I want to
giving
play
them free
in.
money. You're giving them free money. Like you're already saying it's already sold. Will you be my lawyer?
Yeah. And so if you're querying already, you already have a little blurb, you have a pitch. All you have to do is throw some images onto a Canva template. And why wouldn't you do this?
Throw some images. We know what that looked like.
What?
When you just threw some images. I'm totally being a brat. Sorry.
It was pretty.
Yeah, it was just pretty. There was nothing there. There was no substance, CJ.
It was pretty. And those were very carefully selected, I will have you know. Thank you very much.
It was all just hookah pictures.
That is what my book is about. But
no, it's
I did take your advice and I revised my mood board. Do you think so? I realized I have 14 images. Is that too many?
No, yours looked fine. It wasn't. It didn't read busy, but I still think you need a little bit more like angst. Like you need a few angsty pictures. You got to build that tension. Where's your tension?
I'm not going to say what I'm going to tell you later on what I need to add, and you tell me what a brilliant idea this is, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
Also, if you guys, listeners, wanted to support us, go look at our mood board. Oh my God, she's dying.
Oh my God, I'm wheezing over here because I'm laughing so hard. It has triggered the bronchitis.
But if you're listeners, if you'd like to support us on November 9th and you were curious what we made, I'm still trying not to watch CJ. You're curious about our mood boards, you can go and check them out day of. Just give us a little support, give us some love, go see what we're doing. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Don't forget, November 9th. We're going to be doing this.
Yeah.
I swear, I hate these competitions because I've
never done them before.
I haven't either, but it's a whole other... Well, I mean, technically, we kind of did a competition with Berkeley, but...
Yeah, that didn't count. They took 2 years to get back to us.
I don't know. Like, pitch wars, whatever. I just never was one of the persons that would...
Yeah.
I ever thought I'd do this, but you're, twisting my arm. Fine, I'll support. I'll do it.
This is dipping our toe into the contest world. We'll see how it goes if we like it. It's simple. We have a lot of the legwork done already, especially you. So... It'll be fine.
Before CJ dies on me, I'm just going to wrap this up here and say that is our update, friends. Don't forget this month. Oh, wait, I've heard a huge announcement. Hold on. Rewind, everyone. I wanted to tell everyone that we have decided okay, CJ, you know what this is.
What?
We have decided to take a break and do seasons for the podcast. Oh, yeah. So we will be taking the month of December off. There will be no new podcasts in December. So after November's book club, we'll be going on a little month-long break. Our first podcast will be back January 4th in 2024. So we decided to do seasons. I know. So I hope you guys won't miss us and you'll stick around. But we need to rejuvenate ourselves. We got to fill the cup back up.
We'll come back fresh and happy and well-rested and full of cookies, and it'll be good.
Exactly. And we'll have a lot more update because we'll have... the month of December. But also, don't forget, November's book club is Rouge by Mona Awad. I'm going to butcher her name every time. And if you haven't bought your copy yet, use one of our affiliate links in the notes below to purchase a copy from bookshop.org. We get a small kickback at no cost to you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. We're also a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart, so please follow. Answer our poll and question in Spotify. We want to start a conversation with all of y'all, and we hope that you have an amazing week. Until next time, bye, friends.
Bye.